You are listening to a MetalExpressRadio.com interview. Enjoy.
This is Softway with Metal Express Radio. We have a special treat today. We have John 5 after a show in Indianapolis, Indiana. John, say hello to your fans out there throughout the world.
Hello throughout the world, fans.
You're supporting a live album, and that doesn't happen often. So talk a little bit how that came about.
You know, it was really cool how that happened. We were in, where were we? In Sellersville, Pennsylvania. And we were setting up like we usually do. And then somebody said, hey, do you guys want to record tonight? And we were like, sure. And, you know, the band was really tight. So I was like, let's really try to concentrate on what we're doing, not really pay attention to the crowd, just concentrate because we don't get many opportunities to record like this. So we were just like, we explained to the crowd even, like, hey, we're not going to move around, we're just, because we're recording tonight. That I even left on the record. So when you hear the record, I leave that on. And then I even talked to the engineer. I said, hey, did it crash up there? And he's like, gives a thumbs up. And I even left that on the album. It is completely 100% live, and I'm so proud of it that I was like, hey, let's go support this record. Which, back in the day, Kiss Alive 2, Ted Nugent, Double Live Gonzo, Frampton, they all supported their live records. You know, the live record was a huge thing. It was sometimes bigger than their normal record. So it was really a great opportunity to come out and capture that magic, because it really was magical how it came out, and so I'm very, very proud of it.
So Season of the Witch is what came out prior to It's Alive.
Yes.
And your stick has been to go solo in between zombie tours.
That's correct.
So this time, though, you have 43 dates from what I counted between February 1st and the end of April.
Yeah.
Is that the largest tour or longest tour you've been on so far?
Well, we play every day, so the only time we don't play is when we're traveling, like if there's a really long drive or something. But we usually play every day. We usually plan it where it's only like a 3-hour drive. But it's pretty grueling. We lose so many people that say, I can do it. I can totally do the tour. I want to do the tour. I can do it. And I swear to you, like 2 weeks in, they're like, I can't do this. It's way too hard. So wake up really early, start driving, and then we get to the venue, do a meet and greet, interviews, we do the show, break down, do the whole thing, and we do it every single day. I think this is like our 19th in a row or something. So it's a lot of work.
So you've had 8 studio records now to your credit, and how do you look about those records and pull into a live set? You play roughly, 75, 80 minutes, and you have so much material now. Before when you had 2 or 3 records, it's different, but now you have 8. So how do you go about pulling songs in for a live set?
You know, sometimes certain songs don't sound good live. So we'll go through what sounds really good. And I want to keep it entertaining for the crowd as well. I want to keep a big variety of different styles of music. So I want to kind of keep it interesting, because a lot of times guys are coming to the show and they're bringing their girlfriends, but they're happy to be out with their husbands or boyfriends. They'll go anywhere, but you know, I want them to be entertained as well, you know, because they don't know any of the music, but I want them to go, oh, look, or listen to that, or really finely tuned, calculated show that we try to put on.
So shifting gears a bit, you went from John 5 solo to John 5 and the Creatures. So
yeah.
What prompted that name change, and why did that come about?
I wanted to get the band a little bit more involved, and I think, you know, I love when guys are in the group that are, you know, everybody's important, and I want people to be fans of Ian or fans of Logan. You know, it's just the same thing with like any band. Like, oh, Gene Simmons is my favorite, or Peter Criss is my favorite. You know, it's the same thing, and I really like that a lot. It's important to me.
Getting more into the personal aspect of how you become the musician you are, how often do you practice? I've talked with the Malmsteens, the Satrianis, Eric Johnson. They all gave me what they do to practice or how they warm up. And what do you do? Because your level is so high above everyone else.
I usually practice about 7 hours a day. And I'm not exaggerating. It's just, It's all the time. I'd be playing right now if you weren't back here. But it is a comfort thing. It's like a blanket, like a woody. You know, I love it. It's so comforting to me. Thank God I have no aches or pains in my hands because I play all the time. But if you notice, I play very, 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 very light. Just barely touching it. So I'm always playing, and I'm like fortunate that I haven't had any problems. What are some of the people that you remember about talking about practice? What did they say?
Well, Malmsteen used to say that he had guitars at every chair in his family room because wherever he would sit when he was watching TV, he made sure that he always had a guitar and he just strum along and practice while he was watching TV. So he said he'd practice all the time just doing that. Satriani was a little bit more structured.
Yeah.
Eric Johnson was a little bit more structured. But I remember Malmsteen especially said I had a guitar at every chair that I had in my living room.
That's great.
And it was amazing. I figured you'd probably do the same thing. What do you find to be the most challenging type of guitar playing that there is right now?
Well, I think it depends on the piece. I love like a Western swing where the bass part is going along with the melody. So it's kind of like, you know, all different things are happening at once. And if you mess up one, you're going to mess up the other part. There's no ifs, ands, or doubts about it. You know, if you're messing up the bass part, you're going to mess up the melody as well. That's a lot of fun.
Now, is there anything that you have seen in your lifetime or that you've seen recently or a live performance where you said, boy, I don't know if I can ever play something like that. You know, it's too hard.
Well, I always look at something like, I'll look at something and go, it's not that I'll never play it, I just want to try to master it, if you will. And I get excited about that, because that means it's like a new piece of food, or a new movie, or a new anything that you're like, oh, I really want to try this. And it's exciting for me. It's never like, oh no, for me. I'm always like, yeah, you know. So I have that glass is half full way of looking at things.
When you create songs, what comes into your head? Is it a song title first and then you want to fit music around it, or do you think of music first and say, hey, here's a great serial killer or whatever it is that I'm going to title this?
No, I usually just come up with a cool riff or a cool melody or a cool idea, and I try to do that around it, and you know, a cool idea like that, and then the title usually comes last.
So is there anything that you haven't done yet that you have in your mind that, you know, eventually I'm going to get to this, or one day I'm going to do this, or I'm going to write a song or make an album that incorporates this type of style?
I hope so. I don't know yet. My favorite thing is inspiration, and I look for it every day. I love to be inspired, so I look for it all the time. I love it. And with YouTube and Instagram, it's you see it all the time. It's wonderful.
In your own playing history, would you say there was a time when you were the best that you can be? You know, was it a year ago, was it 5 years ago, 10 years ago, or is that date to come yet in the future where you're still feeling you're getting better?
Oh yeah, this is just the beginning. It's just the beginning. Wait till I do everything I just did, but left-handed.
Is there anybody that you haven't worked with yet that you want to work with?
You know, I'm very content. I mean, I'd always love to work with a Beatle or a Rolling Stone, but I've done so much, and I'm very, very happy, very content with where I am. I really am. I'm so blessed, and I've had such a great ride, and I've never even wished upon any of this stuff. So it's a real pleasure.
It sounds like from your tour you have Kentucky, you have Tennessee, you go to Texas and out west, get away from this nasty weather. People can track your tour on john-5.com. Is that correct? Okay, so definitely there, buy your new album. It's Alive, Season of the Witch, anything else that might be there. Any messages or final messages you'd like to give to your metal fans out there throughout the world?
Well, I would say, you know, if you want to become a musician, or if your band wants to become a touring band, I would say do it, because if you don't do it, somebody else is going to. And that is an absolute fact.